What's going on, everyone? This is Felix here with another episode of Dear 20-Year-Old Me. And in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 ways that you can turn consistency into your biggest asset. Let's go ahead and take a look. So, the first time I lost weight in my life, it came at a time when I was at my lowest point in my weight. Ironically, I was at 280 pounds. I didn't actually start and begin to lose weight until I was basically forced to through a health scare. And it was through that health scare that I finally got around to stop feeling sorry for myself and stop making excuses for why I wasn't able to achieve everything. You see, up to this point in my life, I had made excuses mainly through my self image and just my low self esteem in general to get me through a lot of the problems that I just basically avoided and did not wish to solve. It was through having a health scare and me losing weight that I finally decided to seek clarity and figure out why I wanted to do this. I lost weight because I was tired of feeling sorry for myself and I wanted to look absolutely sexy without a shirt on, not be that guy who jumped into the pool without a t shirt, and otherwise just look at myself with a lot of love instead of a lot more hate for myself. Outside of everything that was superficial, I wasn't very clear on why I wanted to lose weight. The only other thing that I wanted to define with me losing weight was me taking that mindset that I needed in order to lose weight through everything else in life. What I mean is, I wanted to take that mindset that I gained and maintained and fostered through losing weight. I wanted to use it through everything else in life, primarily school and just dealing with other people. So that brings me to point number one. I had to get started. If you're familiar with Sir Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of gravity, the very first law of his 3 laws of gravity dictates that an object that stays at rest will remain at rest. Likewise, an object that remains in motion will stay in motion. Now, you're probably wondering what this has to do with consistency in general. Well, just like in life, if you are unwilling to get out of your comfort zone or think outside the box or accept challenges that you know will either give you a learning experience or get you to where you need to be, then you're just going to remain stagnant and you're going to remain where you're at. More or less, you're going to reach this point in your life later on where you're absolutely dissatisfied, you're unhappy, you're anything but happy. And for some people, you probably won't even know why. But if you decide to take on challenges, knowing that these challenges will yield some big reward or some big learning experience, which of course, if you apply those learning experiences, will turn into big rewards for you and your personal growth in the future, then just like Sir Isaac Newton's second law, you're going to remain in motion. And in this case, you're going to remain in motion moving forward. To add to the note of consistency, when you set plans, you commit yourself to those plans. When you set plans and you set yourself with goals, not only should you commit to those goals, but even when you don't want to, still do it anyway. There was many a time when I was losing weight that I didn't want to go to the gym because of A, B, and C excuse. I was either feeling too tired, or I was hungry, or I had some work to do, or I was just otherwise feeling very insecure, unsure of myself. But I still went anyway because I knew that every crappy rep that I made or every kind of exercise that I wasn't sure of doing at the gym was going to lead me to something better. Whether I was going to look it up or I was going to have somebody help me out. There's plenty of people at the gym who were a lot more fit than I was. If I was doing something very terribly and looked like there was a chance of me probably breaking myself in half, chances are high that somebody's going to probably help me out or at the very least spot me. That first attempt that you make is always going to be the hardest one, but it's going to be the one that points you in the right direction. If you don't take that first attempt, if you don't make that first step, then you're really going to never know A, how capable you really are for yourself, and B, how much more do you have to possibly learn so you can get better. After all, since you are starting, the only way you can ever go is up. Number two, you got to get out of your own way. Simply put, you got to get out of your comfort zone, if not daily. You got to learn to accept, embrace, and learn the opportunity that comes with hardship. You already know how to step out of your comfort zone every single day as it is. I mean, if you commute for work or you otherwise need to step out of your living space for whatever reason, you already know what it is to get out of your comfort zone. It's very easy to stay comfortable. It is the one thing that everybody can do. But unfortunately, if you don't get out of your house or if you don't get out of where your living space is, then A, you're not going to survive because you're going to run out of food. And B, you're not going to grow and move forward with your life because, well, you basically confine yourself into one little box where you're comfortable. I mean, anything can happen as you walk out the house. Excluding anything that can possibly happen from Final Destination, there's plenty of opportunities for any kind of accident or any kind of life happens event to happen to you. But you go out there anyway, knowing that you need to do something for you and maybe for the people in your life you care about. Knowing that you already step out of your comfort zone on a daily. What is stopping you from getting out of your own comfort zone to move forward with you? Whether that be pursuing a passion you want or even pursuing a life goal that you've always wanted to achieve. Number 3, just show up. If you remember from a couple videos ago, I mentioned the whole phrase about timing the market versus timing the market. Like I mentioned with the first point of getting started, the more you stay at rest, the more you miss out on plenty of opportunities to learn. If you're constantly waiting for the right answers or you're constantly waiting for opportunities to flourish and shine instead of just simply jumping in and learning on the spot anyway, not only do you lose time and build up a lot of regret, but you also lose out on opportunities and you build up a lot of inexperience that will probably bite you in the butt later on as you build up your regret. Now, to reinforce the second point on getting out of your way, there's always a big difference between what you want to do and what you should do. If there's something big in your life that you want to pursue and you know the steps you need to do to pursue it, and what you should do is stick with the goals that you had, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what everyone else is telling you, and no matter how well somebody will accept that goal or not. Whether you want to achieve something big or you want to achieve a small goal at the very end of the week or at the very end of the day, that achievement doesn't happen without you showing up first. Dedicating time, dedicating energy, dedicating your mental focus to it. Achievement never happens without you showing up first. Number 4, analyze, reflect, and prepare. As you go through your opportunities in life, and as you go through your attempts, and as you go through your reps, and whatever you do, there's never an opportunity not to learn. There's always a learning opportunity. Even from your biggest wins, there's always an opportunity to learn. As you net your wins and as you net your mistakes, the biggest thing you can do to basically sabotage yourself is to compare yourself to others. Learn to analyze what you've done right and what you can learn from, but don't ever analyze somebody else and compare yourself to them. Perhaps one of my biggest struggles that I made throughout my 20s was constantly comparing myself to others. I wasted so much time comparing myself to other people instead of digging through myself first. See, everybody's like an iceberg. You see the very tip of the iceberg and you see what is right above water and you see how significant it is. But the biggest thing that people don't see is what's underneath the water. You see, icebergs are a lot bigger than they give themselves out to be. For every part of the iceberg that you see above water, there is a much, much deeper and bigger base of the iceberg that floats beneath the surface. Now, comparing yourself to another person is essentially like looking at somebody else's iceberg and trying to look below the surface to see how far it goes. You're essentially burning all this time and mental energy and resources that you have to take a look at somebody else's iceberg instead of looking through your own iceberg. Not only just looking through your own iceberg, but figuring what makes your iceberg float and possibly grow. And when you prepare mindfully. Prepare with the same energy and momentum that you've gotten from your big wins, because everybody has them. Know that no matter what happens, you're in control of how your outcomes are going to be. Even if you're having a rough day or even a rough time, you have the capacity to change how big and how great your outcomes are going to look like. Last but not least, number 5, continue finding you and your people. If you haven't already done so, find out what your biggest passions are in life. And I guarantee you that for every big passion that you have, no matter how small or niche it is, there's at least a few hundred people out there who have the same exact passion as you. The biggest thing you can do to help your consistency is to find these people and learn from them. If you know you're competent enough in the subject, know how competent you are, but don't try to be the smartest person in the room. Instead, try to learn from everybody else in the room and contribute no matter what you do. It's not enough to be the smartest person in the room after all. Rather, the smartest thing you can do is to contribute and help everybody else in the room. You'll be surprised how much learning by teaching others is going to help you in your life. Consistency is something that takes a lifetime to learn. Even the people who are the most consistent will find new ways to stay consistent. And no matter what, any asset, any trait, any characteristic always takes a lifetime to learn. Know that because of this, everybody's journey is different. It's never too late to start learning anything. Here's to consistency. Keep living it up, my friend, and we'll see you in the next one.